Success isn't built on motivation alone. It's the power of discipline that drives you when motivation fades away. Motivation is a spark, an initial burst of energy that fuels you at the beginning. But like any flame, it doesn't last forever. Motivation comes and goes in waves, and there will be times when it's low, leaving you feeling unmotivated or uninspired. But here's the key: discipline doesn't waver. It's the steady, unwavering force that keeps you moving forward, even when your motivation is nowhere to be found. When motivation wanes, it's easy to feel like quitting is the only option. You think, I'll start again when I feel more motivated, or I'm just not feeling it today. But that's where discipline steps in. Discipline is the ability to stay committed, even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up at 5 a.m. to hit the gym, even when your bed feels too warm to leave. It's putting in the hours on your project, even when you're exhausted and the results aren't immediate. Discipline is the decision to do what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel in the moment. The truth is, motivation is unreliable. It's tied to your emotions, and emotions can shift from one minute to the next. You might wake up one day feeling like you can conquer the world, only to find that by midday your enthusiasm has completely vanished. On the other hand, discipline is rooted in your commitment to a bigger goal, to a vision that doesn't change with your emotions. It's a mindset that says, I'm going to show up today, regardless of how I feel. Without discipline, you're at the mercy of your feelings. You might start strong, but when the initial excitement fades and the grind begins, you'll struggle to maintain momentum. It's easy to give up when motivation dips, but discipline demands that you push through, even when things get tough. One of the most powerful aspects of discipline is that it builds momentum. The more consistent you are, the easier it becomes to keep going. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do. It's about training yourself to stick with the process, even when the results aren't immediate. Over time, your discipline becomes a habit, and habits don't require motivation. They are automatic. You don't have to think about them, you just do them. Discipline also helps you develop resilience. When you're consistent, you learn to overcome setbacks, failures, and obstacles. You understand that challenges are a part of the journey, not reasons to quit. Each time you push through a tough moment, you're not only making progress toward your goal, but you're also strengthening your mental toughness. This resilience, built through discipline, is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. While others are waiting for motivation to come back, you're moving forward, one disciplined step at a time. In the long run, it's your discipline that leads to success, not your initial burst of motivation. Discipline doesn't rely on feeling good or being in the right mood. It simply demands that you show up day after day and put in the work. It's the consistency of your actions that will carry you to your destination, even when the path is long and difficult. Ultimately, discipline is what helps you stay focused on the bigger picture. Motivation might push you to take the first step, but it's discipline that keeps you moving even when the journey gets tough. So while motivation will always come and go, remember that discipline is the key to unlocking your true potential. It's the one thing you can count on to get you through the hardest days. The real secret to success lies in making discipline your strongest ally, knowing that it's the unwavering force that will always carry you forward. The foundation of consistency is your ability to master your mind. The mind is the engine behind every action you take, every decision you make, and every step you take toward your goals. When you understand how to control and direct your thoughts, you unlock the power to persist, even when things get tough. Mastering the mind isn't something that happens overnight. It's a lifelong practice of developing mental discipline, sharpening focus, and creating a mindset that doesn't easily succumb to resistance or distractions. Your mind is constantly filled with thoughts, some empowering, some discouraging. The challenge isn't to eliminate negative thoughts altogether, it's to acknowledge them and not allow them to control your actions. Too often, people allow their thoughts to dictate their behavior. A thought of doubt or fear arises and suddenly they question whether they should continue. A fleeting feeling of discomfort makes them consider quitting. The mind, if left unchecked, can become a prison that keeps you from pushing forward. The key to mastering your mind is learning how to shift your focus. When doubts arise and resistance grows, you must train yourself to redirect your thoughts to your bigger purpose, to the goals you've set for yourself. It's about choosing to focus on the vision you have for your future rather than the temporary discomfort of the present moment. The more you practice this, the stronger your mental focus becomes. You stop allowing fleeting emotions or doubts to steer the ship. Instead, you become the captain, navigating through challenges with purpose and direction. Mastery of the mind means learning to control your reactions. Life isn't always going to go according to plan, and setbacks are inevitable. However, how you respond to those setbacks determines how far you'll go. When you master your mind, you don't react impulsively to challenges. You respond thoughtfully, using them as stepping stones rather than obstacles. Every challenge is a chance to grow, and when you have control over your mindset, you see every setback as a lesson, not a reason to quit. A critical part of mastering the mind is eliminating the distractions that can derail your progress. The modern world is filled with countless distractions: social media, endless notifications, and constant noise that pulls your attention away from what truly matters. If you let your mind wander to every distraction, you lose focus and in turn lose consistency. However, when you learn to silence the distractions and focus on the task at hand, you empower yourself to stay on course. Your mind becomes a tool, not a hindrance, and you can use it to propel yourself toward your goals, no matter how challenging the journey becomes. Another important aspect of mastering the mind is developing mental toughness. The path to success is rarely smooth, and it's filled with moments of uncertainty, frustration, and pain. It's easy to want to quit when the going gets tough, but mental toughness keeps you going when others would give up. It's about conditioning yourself to not be swayed by temporary discomfort or setbacks. Every time you choose to push through adversity, you build resilience in your mind. You become more accustomed to enduring challenges and more skilled at finding solutions instead of focusing on the problems. When you master your mind, you take control of your future. Your thoughts no longer have the power to control you. Instead, you have the power to control your thoughts. This is the essence of consistency, the ability to stay the course, even when the external circumstances are trying to pull you off track. It's about knowing that your mental fortitude is your greatest asset in the pursuit of success. Ultimately, mastering your mind is the difference between fleeting motivation and sustained progress. It's the mental strength that ensures you keep going when the excitement wears off. When you focus your mind, develop resilience, and silence distractions, you unlock your true potential. The mind is the ultimate battleground, and the way you choose to navigate it will determine your success. By mastering your mind, you master your destiny, and nothing can stand in your way. Success is not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about showing up consistently, even when things aren't going exactly as planned, even when you don't have everything figured out. People often get caught up in the idea of perfection, thinking that every move must be flawless and every action must yield immediate, ideal results. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion. No one has it all together. No one gets everything right every time. What truly matters is your ability to keep going, despite the inevitable mistakes and setbacks that come your way. Every successful person you admire has faced challenges, made mistakes, and encountered failures. What separates them from those who never reach their full potential is their refusal to quit. They didn't let their shortcomings stop them. They didn't wait until everything was perfect. They simply kept going. They embraced the process, knowing that each step, even the missteps, was part of the journey. Persistence is what allows you to continue moving forward, to get back up every time you fall, and to keep improving, no matter the circumstances. In the pursuit of your goals, there will be plenty of times when things don't go as planned. You'll encounter obstacles that you didn't anticipate. You'll feel frustrated when the results you're working toward take longer to achieve than you expected. You'll make mistakes that seem discouraging in the moment. But the key to success isn't avoiding these moments, it's being willing to keep pushing through them. The path to success is rarely linear. It's full of twists and turns, with setbacks along the way. But every time you pick yourself back up, you gain experience. Every time you persist, you move one step closer to your goals. Too often, people give up too soon. They see a roadblock, and they immediately think it's the end. They think, I've tried enough. Maybe this isn't for me, or I'm not getting the results I expected, so I'll move on to something else. This mentality comes from a lack of patience and a misunderstanding of what success truly requires. Success isn't about getting everything right from the start. It's about learning from each misstep, adjusting your approach, and refusing to quit. Persistence is the key to navigating through the hard times and coming out stronger on the other side. The journey towards success requires you to keep pushing, even when you don't feel like it. Motivation may fade, the excitement may wear off, and the initial enthusiasm may turn into exhaustion. But persistence doesn't care about motivation or excitement. It's the quiet, steady force that moves you forward, even when the world tells you to stop. It's the understanding that progress is made through consistent effort, not through perfection. Each day you continue working. Even when it feels like you're not making significant progress, you're building momentum. Every small action you take adds up over time. It's the compound effect of persistence. Even in the face of failure, persistence demands that you get back up and try again. Failure isn't the end, it's a part of the process. It's not something to be feared or avoided, but something to be learned from. The most successful people are often the ones who have failed the most. They don't let failure define them, they let it refine them. With every failure, they learn something new, and with every lesson they improve. Persistence means learning from your mistakes, applying what you've learned, and continuing forward with renewed focus. The beauty of persistence is that it works regardless of your starting point or your current abilities. It doesn't matter where you are or how far you still have to go. What matters is that you keep going. The more persistent you are, the more resilient you become. Your ability to stick with it, despite the challenges, is what will ultimately bring you success. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or hoping everything will fall into place. It's about putting in the work every single day, no matter how imperfect it seems. In the end, it's the persistence that counts. It's the ability to continue moving forward when others would have stopped. Perfection is an unattainable standard, but persistence is something you can control. Keep showing up, keep pushing forward, and you will find success no matter how many times you stumble along the way. The journey may not be perfect, but your persistence will make it worthwhile. Life is filled with resistance. It's in the obstacles that seem to come out of nowhere, in the moments when things don't go as planned, and in the struggles that feel like they're testing your limits. Resistance is the force that pushes back against your progress, trying to keep you from moving forward. It might show up as self-doubt, procrastination, distractions, or even physical exhaustion. But here's the truth: resistance is not something to fear. It's something to embrace. The way you respond to resistance determines whether you'll stay on course or give up. The people who succeed don't avoid resistance, they confront it head-on and keep moving forward. The resistance you face is real. It can feel overwhelming at times, especially when you're in the middle of a tough challenge. You might feel like everything is working against you and that no matter how hard you try, you just can't make any progress. But what separates the successful from those who give up is their ability to keep going, even when resistance feels insurmountable. The successful people are the ones who don't let the resistance stop them. They recognize it as a part of the journey, a necessary challenge they must overcome in order to grow. Resistance comes in many forms, and it doesn't always look the same. Sometimes, it's the fear of failure that holds you back. You might be so worried about making mistakes that you hesitate to take action. Other times, resistance might show up as distractions, your mind wandering to things that seem more appealing than the work at hand. You might feel the pull of comfort, urging you to take the easy path instead of putting in the hard work required to succeed. Whatever form it takes, resistance is a test. It's a test of your commitment, your perseverance, and your willingness to stay on course. What you must understand is that resistance is not a sign to stop. In fact, it's often the signal that you're on the right path. When you push against resistance, you create momentum. The more you face resistance and push through it, the stronger you become. Each time you overcome an obstacle, you develop resilience. You become mentally tougher, more determined, and more capable of handling future challenges. Resistance is the grind that sharpens you. It's the process of becoming better, stronger, and more skilled. One of the most important things to realize is that resistance isn't always something you can control. You can't always predict when or how it will show up, but you can control how you respond to it. When resistance rears its head, you have a choice. You can let it defeat you, or you can choose to rise above it. The successful individuals are the ones who choose to confront resistance, not run from it. They don't get discouraged by obstacles. Instead, they take them in stride, learning from each challenge and using it as fuel to keep moving forward. It's also crucial to understand that resistance isn't always a sign that something is wrong. It's simply a part of the process. In fact, some of the most rewarding achievements come from pushing through the hardest obstacles. When you feel the weight of resistance, it's often a sign that you're growing, that you're pushing beyond your comfort zone and making progress towards something greater. So instead of seeing resistance as a barrier, try to see it as a sign that you're on the right track. The more resistance you face, the more you're being shaped and molded into someone capable of achieving your dreams. The key to overcoming resistance is persistence. It's about continuing to show up, even when the road gets tough. It's about staying focused on the long-term goal, even when the immediate obstacles seem overwhelming. When you keep moving forward, despite the resistance, you create momentum. You build a habit of persistence that becomes stronger than the resistance itself. Over time, you'll find that resistance no longer has the same power over you. You become so used to pushing through that it becomes second nature. Resistance will always be there, It's a part of life. But what matters most is how you deal with it. I don't let it stop you. Don't let it define you. Every time you push through resistance, you prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving greatness. It's not about avoiding obstacles. It's about developing the strength to keep going when they appear. Resistance is part of the journey, and it's the overcoming of that resistance that leads to the greatest rewards. Keep pushing forward, no matter how tough it gets, because on the other side of resistance lies your success. The foundation of success is built on the most powerful form of self-respect, discipline. It's easy to think of self-respect as a feeling you have about yourself when others recognize your achievements or when you're praised for your efforts. But true self-respect doesn't come from external validation. It comes from the quiet commitment you make to yourself. It's about honoring your word, holding yourself accountable, and showing up consistently, even when no one else is watching. The highest form of self-respect is the ability to stay disciplined, to commit to the process, and to keep working toward your goals, even when it's hard. Discipline isn't just about doing what's easy or convenient. It's about doing what's necessary, especially when you don't feel like it. It's the action you take when motivation is low and resistance is high. Discipline is the foundation that keeps you grounded when the world around you is uncertain. When you respect yourself enough to keep your promises to yourself and others, you build a deep sense of trust in your own abilities. It's about showing up for your goals day after day, no matter what distractions or challenges come your way. The truth is, discipline is the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who never see them come to life. It's the ability to stay committed to the process, to put in the work every single day, even when it feels like you're not making any progress. Discipline is what allows you to push through the moments of doubt, fatigue, and uncertainty. It's what keeps you going when you feel like throwing in the towel. When you choose discipline over convenience, you're choosing to respect yourself and your dreams more than the temporary comfort of giving up. The most important part of discipline is that it's not about perfection, it's about consistency. You don't have to be perfect to succeed, but you do have to show up. Each time you take disciplined action, even if it's small, you're reinforcing the respect you have for yourself. You're proving to yourself that you can keep going, that you can be trusted to follow through. Each decision to stay disciplined strengthens your self-respect and builds your confidence in your ability to succeed. Self-respect through discipline also means understanding that your journey is your own. It's easy to get distracted by what others are doing or to compare yourself to others, but true self-respect comes when you embrace your own path. Your discipline is a reflection of your commitment to your personal growth, not anyone else's. When you're disciplined, you're not seeking approval or validation from others. You're focused on honoring your own journey and working toward the goals that matter most to you. Another powerful aspect of discipline is the sense of control it gives you over your life. Life can sometimes feel unpredictable, but when you maintain discipline, you regain control over your actions. Discipline allows you to decide how you spend your time, how you respond to challenges, and how you keep moving forward, even when external circumstances are difficult. It's the practice of taking ownership of your decisions and making choices that align with your long-term vision rather than being swayed by momentary desires or distractions. When you're disciplined, you not only show your self-respect, but you also create a positive ripple effect in other areas of your life. Discipline becomes a habit, and the more disciplined you become in one area, the more it spills over into others. Whether it's in your career, your health, or your personal relationships, discipline strengthens your ability to achieve and maintain success. It teaches you how to manage your time, how to prioritize what's important, and how to keep pushing forward, no matter the setbacks you face. At the end of the day, self-respect isn't about being perfect or achieving flawless results. It's about staying true to your commitments and continually doing the work, even when the journey feels long or challenging. Discipline is the tool that allows you to consistently show up for yourself, regardless of the circumstances. And when you honor your word to yourself, when you stay disciplined, you create a foundation of self-respect that becomes unshakable. True success comes not from the occasional burst of motivation, but from the disciplined, consistent effort that you put in day after day. In the end, discipline is not just the key to your success, it's the ultimate act of self-respect. Success doesn't come from giant leaps or overnight transformations. It's built on small, consistent actions that accumulate over time. Every small step you take, every little bit of effort you put in, adds up. These small actions might not seem significant in the moment, but over time, they compound and lead to major results. It's easy to overlook the importance of these small steps, especially when you're focused on the big picture. You might be looking for dramatic changes or expecting immediate results, but the truth is, consistency is what really moves you forward. Each small step you take brings you closer to where you want to be, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. The power of small steps is in their cumulative effect. At first, it may seem like the work you're putting in isn't making a noticeable difference. You may wonder if what you're doing even matters. But that's the mistake many people make. They give up too soon, thinking that progress should be quicker or more obvious. They fail to realize that the real progress happens quietly in the background through the consistency of their daily actions. Over time, those small, seemingly insignificant efforts build momentum, and before you know it, they create a force that pushes you toward your goals. One of the most important things to understand about small steps is that they allow you to stay grounded in reality. Big, ambitious goals are great, but they can sometimes feel overwhelming or impossible, especially when you're just starting out. But when you focus on small, manageable tasks, you break down those big goals into something more achievable. This makes the journey feel less daunting and gives you the motivation to keep moving forward. Each small win you achieve builds your confidence, and each success, no matter how small, reinforces your belief that you're capable of achieving your bigger goals. Small steps also teach you the importance of consistency. Success is not about being perfect, it's about showing up every day, doing the work, and staying committed. Consistency is what turns small actions into big results. It's the daily effort that transforms into mastery over time. Whether it's writing a few pages every day, making a few sales calls each week, or working out for 30 minutes each morning, the key is to do something every day, no matter how small. Over time, those daily actions add up to something much larger than you could ever imagine. It's also important to note that small steps give you the opportunity to adjust as you go. When you're taking gradual steps, you can evaluate your progress, make adjustments, and learn from your experiences without the pressure of having to get everything perfect from the start. Small steps allow you to experiment, fail, and course correct. You're not setting yourself up for major disappointments because you're not putting all your energy into one big action or trying to accomplish everything at once. Instead, you're focusing on small, consistent actions that will eventually lead you to where you want to be. And with every small action, you gain valuable insights that help you improve along the way. Consistency also helps you develop the patience and discipline required for long-term success. When you focus on small steps, you learn to embrace the process rather than obsessing over the end result. It's easy to get discouraged when you're focused solely on the final destination, but when you break the journey down into smaller, manageable steps, you learn to appreciate each part of the process. You come to realize that success is not about the final outcome, but about the growth you experience along the way, the lessons you learn, and the person you become in the process. Each small step is a building block that shapes your future success. Moreover, small steps allow you to build sustainable habits that lead to lasting change. Instead of trying to overhaul your life in a single moment, you're creating a foundation that you can build on over time. Habits formed through small steps are more likely to stick because they don't overwhelm you. You're not trying to do everything at once, you're gradually improving one step at a time. As these habits take root, they become second nature, and success becomes inevitable. In the end, it's not the big moments of achievement that define your success, it's the small, consistent actions that you take every day. Each small step, no matter how insignificant it may seem at the time, is a building block in the larger structure of your success. The real secret to success lies not in grand gestures, but in the quiet, consistent effort you put in every single day. Keep moving forward, even if it's just one small step at a time, because in the end, those small steps will take you farther than you could ever imagine.